So once you get your inspection done, you've done checking for the snags and tears, checking your stitching, you're ready to go and start your recovery. One of the telltale signs when you're doing recovery is to make sure you have the proper strap for the vehicle that you're using. How do you tell if your strap is strong enough, or on the other hand, is it too strong? This is an example of what a tensile brake looks like. It's basically like a frayed rope. It just snaps. It's something that's very unmistakable. It sounds like a gun going off. So the way to check for your proper strap strength is taking the brake strength of a strap divided by 2. That is the safety factor for towing of 2 to 1. That will give you the maximum vehicle weight that you should tow with this strap. So for instance, if you have a 44,000 pound strap and brake strength, if you divide that by 2, it gives you 22,000 pounds. That is the maximum weight the stuck vehicle should weigh and using that strap. Now, on the other hand, you don't want to overcompensate. You want the stretch from the nylon. You just don't want it to stretch to the point where it actually breaks. And just a light example here is you don't want to use a strap that's rated for 80,000 pounds and then tow a 6,000 pound vehicle with it, because the weight of the vehicle doesn't even give it enough strength or enough weight to stretch the strap at all. So you're going to get almost like towing with a chain effect, where it just snaps right at the end and it's not giving you the give that you need for recovery. So just one thing to remember, stretch is good, just not too much. Some things when fastening the recovery strap to the vehicle is on the immobilized vehicle, you want to choke some part on the frame. You do not want to tie a knot in the webbing. Tying a knot in the webbing causes increased pressure on these little fibers here where it's tied in the knot and diminishes the strength immensely. So what you'll want to do is find a spot on the frame to choke it. Now what they do for a choking hitch is you'll wrap the strap around your fixed point there and feed one eye through the other and then pull it tight. Always attach to a fixed point on the frame of the vehicle if possible. You do not want to attach these to axles, suspensions, steering rods. Things like that can become detached with this pressure. This nylon recovery strap is going to put a lot of pressure on that vehicle trying to get it out of there. So you do not want to put it on something that can be detached. Once something becomes detached, it's basically launched like a slingshot at excess speeds of 100 miles an hour. If you need hardware, we would recommend using a lifting or rigging shackle, similar to this right here. This one right here is what they call a 3/4 ton screw pin anchor shackle, and you just disconnect it by unscrewing the pin. And this is how you'll fasten this to your trailer hitch or the towing hooks, whatever you have on your vehicle for the towing capacity, and screw it tight. Now this particular shackle, being 3/4, it gives you a workload limit on here. Now this workload limit is done for lifting and rigging, so in this case it's a 5 to 1 safety factor. So this particular shackle, even though it says 4 3/4 ton on the workload limit, its brake strength is 47,500 pounds. So divide that by 2 for its tow capacity and you're well over 22,000 pounds. So you're okay to go in most cases on any vehicle with this one, unless it's something like large farm machinery, like a combine or a tractor for instance. Then you may need to do something a little bit larger than this. If by chance you do use a shackle that is lighter in brake strength than the recovery strap, you stand a very high chance of this shackle breaking before the strap does. And what happens is once this breaks, it's going to get launched just like a slingshot, and again in excess of speeds of 100 miles an hour. This is something that's you're not going to duck out of the way. It can be very dangerous and even fatal. So please, whenever you're using rigging shackles for attachment, use every precaution you can and make sure this shackle is stronger than the recovery strap that you're using. One good thing to do when you're doing recovery is to make sure, one precaution they use is laying a blanket or a jacket over the middle of the strap, somewhere towards the center of where you're towing at. What this does is when that recovery strap snaps, no matter where it snaps at, the longer strap is going to have to deal with this jacket coming back. So it acts more like a parachute or wind drag. So it doesn't come back with quite the velocity that the shorter strap will. The shorter strap generally doesn't cause a whole lot of damage because it's just a few feet long, so it snaps back to the vehicle. It's the longer strap that's generally the most worrisome. Some other helpful hints that help when you're doing your recovery is keep the strap away from sharp edges. As you can see with the cut damage we showed earlier in the slides, the cut damage can wear on the strap, and it doesn't take much of a sharp edge. It really doesn't even have to be sharp to a point where it can cut, even if the curvature is too sharp. If it rubs against that part, it will cut through the nylon. So we always recommend using maybe even Cordura sleeves to slide over the recovery strap on this point to make sure that the strap does not get cut. One thing is to pull the strap slowly and get it snug before you actually start your recovery. Don't start with the recovery strap in a limp or drag position and just take off in one direction trying to recover this. Let the strap do the work. You pull the car till it's nice and tight or taut, and then once you get going, just push on the accelerator slowly. That will transfer some energy to that recovery strap. The recovery strap's memory will help pull that recovered vehicle out. If it doesn't work, back off just a little bit, get it nice and taut again, and then increase your speed just a little bit. It's not going to take much speed to get this recovery strap to work. Storing the recovery strap, you want to make sure you keep this out of sunlight, as UV radiation can damage your nylon fabric. You'll see some of the telltale signs of the damage will be a lighter color. It will almost fade to white, and the strands will become more brittle and less flexible. So that you'll be able to tell just by bending the recovery strap, it's not going to have the flexibility it used to have. Keep away from excessive heat, as we spoke of earlier. You want to make sure the strap does not come in contact with heat in excess of 194 degrees Fahrenheit ever. If it comes in contact with that kind of heat, you should take that strap out of service and get a different one. Cleaning the strap. Obviously, once you're doing towing and recovery, the strap's going to dangle on the ground. It's going to get a lot of dirt and mud into it probably. So what you'll want to do is make sure you clean the strap, and what you'll want to do is take and spray the webbing along the length of the webbing this way. So by spraying a hose this way, no chemicals are needed, strictly just hose water. Take the water and spray it this way. Do not spray it this way. If you spray it this way, you can embed particles of sand, dirt into the webbing, which in the end, later uses can damage the webbing and break those strands inside. Never exceed a recovery strap's rated capacity. If you don't think that the recovery strap is strong enough, it probably isn't. Any bystander that's looking at the recovery situation should be standing at the very minimum the length of the strap away from the vehicle. You should be a safe distance because once this strap snaps, like I said, it's going to fly off in speeds that you're not going to duck out of the way of. So this is something that's going to come back, and if it breaks right at the other fastening point, it could be its total length snapping back in the other direction. And that concludes our session on recovery strap safety, and happy recovering, and we hope to see you again.